Oh, hello there. The stream has just begun. And oh boy, oh boy. I have an exam tomorrow and I shouldn't be streaming. So, and I wish sound alerts would just leave me alone. I'm just gonna ban sound alerts. Sorry, sound alerts. I'm sick of hearing you. There. Sound alerts, you're banned. I never want to hear anything from sound alerts again. Yeah, I have an AWS exam tomorrow. The AWS SysOps Administrator exam, which I thought I was ready for based on the exam prep that came with my Cloud Guru course. But then I just took another test exam shortly before this stream and didn't do nearly as well as I had been doing on the other practice exams. So now I'm in a slight panic, just a slight panic, that I might not pass my exam tomorrow. So as soon as I'm done with this stream and until my exam tomorrow afternoon, I'm probably going to use every waking minute I can to reinforce my studying. I'm not bad at cramming. That's a skill that was very well developed when I was in school. But oh boy. Boy. Big Bouncing Bungus, thank you for resubbing for 17 months and being Tomar pilled. Tuddy Wuddy, your words, not mine. Tuddy Wuddy, thank you for resubbing for 16 months. What we doing, Tomar? I don't know what we doing today. We doing whatever happens. Whatever happens, happens. We'll do Tomar Tuesday, and we'll take it from there. Oh, here comes a hype train. Lyra Jones, thank you for subbing with Prime. We have a new sub, Lyra Jones. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for the encouragement on the exam, too. The Red Bush 2782, thank you for subscribing with Prime. You know, I appreciate everyone who's busting out their Prime subs here. The support is ever much appreciated. Tomar, have any thoughts on Atomic Heart? Is that like a piece of media, Atomic Heart, or the concept of an Atomic Heart? The Great Newt? I don't know. If it's it's a new game. I don't know anything about Atomic Heart. I think this is my first time hearing about it. Let me look it up. Let's see. Atomic Heart. Have I seen anything about this? I don't think I have. Arrives on PC without ray tracing after years of Nvidia promotion. that's compelling. I mean, it looks like it's got good scores. All right, let's watch a. I'm gonna watch the trailer. Let's see. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Oh, and by the way, thank you, Daleks866 for resubbing for 15 months. How goes it, Tomar? Got to check out Atomic Heart. It's fine so far. Okay, that's encouraging. Dylan, thank you for the gifted sub to Lightning Dean. Blowing Kunks, thank you, my mod, for resubbing for 16 months. Tomar, are you trying to spread Soviet propaganda on stream again? Is this Soviet propaganda? I don't. Anyway, JW, thank you for resubbing for 5 months. Hello, Daddy Tommy. Good luck on your exam. I do not miss IT research and loathe back when I had to do my Cisco crap. This is the first. I'm not even like obligated professionally to do this. It's kind of just like a competitive thing because all my coworkers do it. I don't want to be the one guy that isn't staying recertified. So I mean that's good. That's positive peer pressure. Is how I see that. But my pride's on the line here. I better not fail this exam. I hope I don't regret streaming tonight. Oh well. What I really need is a good night's rest and a last minute cram session at the 11th hour. That's what's gotten me through most of my schooling. Golden Pen HD, thank you for resubbing with tier 2 for 11 months. Happy 11 months. Hey Tomar, did you know Oni Plays fan game you guys played a few years ago has more chapters now? Are you guys gonna play it? Have you checked out Fossil Fighters yet? So to answer your first question, yeah, I heard about that a few months ago, but still haven't gotten a chance to do it. But yeah, I think we want to give it a shot this year to play more of that game. And then Tuddy Wuddy. Oh wait, no, hold on. And then have you checked out Fossil Fighters? No, I haven't. I don't know much about that. Is that like a dinosaur fighting game? Anyway, that sounds cool. Tuddy Wuddy, thank you for the 1,500 bits. You play Hogwarts Legacy at home? What do I? Yes. Like, did I play it outside of stream? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. No. I mean, I took a break because I got super into Vulcanoids, which isn't even technically finished yet. It's still pre-release, but oh, I love those games too. So dismissive, says Hattie Flat. What dismissive of what? Oh, Atomic Heart had some controversy, but it's essentially a BioShock-inspired game set in Russia. It's on Game Pass. Oh, cool. All the more reason to check it out if it's on Game Pass. Here, let's watch the trailer. After I thank O2 Mike O2 Mike 0 for resubbing for 7 months. Here's the Tomar tithe you deserve. Thank you for the Tomar tithe. Boog Raccoon, thank you for the $5 tip. Congratulations on the baby, Tomar. Thank you. My wife is 4 months along and I'm scared out of my mind. What's it like, if you don't mind me asking? It's completely life-altering, but you can't really prepare for it. Like, your psychology is affected too. Like, you're like, I don't mind any of this crap because this is my baby, sort of deal. So, like, don't worry. Things will work out. I mean, obviously you got to put in effort, as with anything, but it's not hard to motivate yourself to put in effort when you have a child. At least if you have normal, empathetic human psychology brain. Noble Nuggy, thank you for resubbing for 14 months. Much appreciated. All right, we're going to watch this trailer. Because I don't know anything about Atomic Heart, because I've been living in under a rock.
Man was born to dream, to do great things. Flying machines, space travel.
Can everybody hear that? I hope so. I could turn it up a
But
smidge.
There are those who wish to crush those dreams.
That was a clip from Five Nights at Freddy's, I think.
And that's where men like you come in, Sergey.
This is just a FNAF clone.
Sworn to the death of mankind
I kid.
and its destiny.
I swore that the world would never see its like again. Do you realize what this could mean for us? An international scandal. They're not going to find out. The malfunction has been dealt with.
Huh. It's interesting how, like, maybe it's just my bandwidth or something, since I'm streaming. Not that I would think that would affect downstream, but this video doesn't look that great for a game that's just coming out. I don't know if it's video compression artifacts or if the render settings just aren't what I'd expect to see in a trailer.
The entire world will be just like this.
You're a soldier, Agent P3. Your job is to cover me. This place is a damn madhouse.
It's like a combination of BioShock and
Xena.
what's that one game
Xena.
where you parkour all over the place but with zombies? It's, why can't I remember the name of it? Dying Light, that's the one. It gives me a little bit of a Dying Light vibe too. buying light. I'll make yart. Nothing about this makes me want to go out and spend $60, but if it's on Game Pass, I'll, maybe eventually check it out. Let's do Tomart. Okay, this first one is from F. Kim. Oh wait, and then I didn't thank World for resubbing for 6 months. You've earned your third Tomar Emerald, by the way. Congrats on that. Tomar, you are the best. Happy 6 months, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, this first one by F. Kim. The Legend of Tomar and the iconic Ocarina of Time. He's almost close, like 15% completed so far, to saving Hyrule from the evil green Cumulon. Is he going to liberate Epona and get that giant sword? Cough, cough, big Goron sword. Only on Tomar. I like Navi's giant hand. Thank you, as always, for your lovely contributions, F. Kim. That's a nice old thumb. This next entry is another Sire, a Sire classic. This will be my last Tomart post ever. Here's a tutorial on how to draw Tomar perfectly. Feel free to use a tutorial-esque voice since you claim to be a voice actor, Tomar. Use a voice to do what? You didn't actually lay out the instructions or anything. Anyway, where's the dang TomarStream merch? I want a TomarStream.com bumper sticker. There is no TomarStream merch. Should there be? I don't think there should be. Not until we have like our own proper iconography. I don't know. I don't know. I've never thought about that. Don't make me think about that live on air. Is Sire even here that he's given me all these thoughts? There's like an Eggman. There's an Eggman with a Charlie Brown squiggle and a smiley face. There's Eggman with Charlie Brown smiley face. Put the little hat on it then. And then, no, that's it. That's it. It's just 3 steps. Oh, sorry. I meant start with the ugly circle, then go to the circle with the hands and feet, then the squiggle and the face, and then that. That was my tutorial voice, I guess. Yes, I really have an exam I'm studying for, Gonzo's Razor. Terrible voice acting, says Awesome. I really liked the tutorial, but the voice acting was... This is from Baffy Lamb. Oh my goodness, sensitive content. Dylan down here going, I can't believe you'd post something like this. What is this gonna be? Just kidding. I checked before the stream because I didn't. You were expecting something 18 plus, but it was me, Tomar. Is that a JoJo I realize what I'm saying, but is that like a reference to like it was IDEO meme? Is that but you know what? It doesn't have to be anything. It could just be me, Tomar. Okay. Baffy confirms it is a Dio reference. See, I'm not crazy. That's I love the drawing though. And I love how there's these cool tree branch gray things that's accurate. I really like how you did. It's a great render. I don't know. I like it. I like it. And I've got my iconic Audio Technicas. Wait, are these? I mean Sennheisers. I meant Sennheisers. I also have Audio Technica open backs that I think I used to wear in earlier streams.
Fortnite account, I'm going to have a birth of cactuses out of my asshole.
Currently being hacked.
If someone hacked into my Fortnite
This is too many memes hitting me.
to have a birth of cactuses out of my asshole.
Currently being hacked.
someone bothered to draw all these and make that meme video. So we got to see it a few
Tell what
times.
happened to my Fortnite account. I'm going to have a birth of cactuses out of my asshole.
Currently being hacked.
All right, that's the last time any of us are gonna see that on TomarStream, because yeah, you have no idea what that is. Crazy crazy F. I don't either. I don't know. Oh, Maya's not having a good night tonight. She just got her 6-month vaccination. I think it's left her a little irritable today. So wait, oh wait, this is Sire again. No wait, this is my last Tomart post ever. Courtney Marr, great. A terrible Total Drama Island character design with my head pasted on top. And by I mean I consider all Total Drama Island character designs to be terrible. I was not singling out Courtney in particular. uh and then my favorite 2 clips. Oh, okay. I'll allow it. My favorite 2 clips on the latest TomarStream. I hope this... Gee. I feel like I'm getting assaulted. Maya is not having a good day. She's really crying out there. I feel so bad. Can you guys hear that? Oh, I feel like a bad father, even though I know Jaxie's with her. Oh, I'm glad you guys can't hear her. This is also contributes to me wanting to end the stream a little early. All right, but let's keep going with Tomar Tuesday. As oh, my poor baby girl's crying in the other room. Oh, my 2 favorite clips on the latest Tomar stream. I hope this time he could find the opponent's song. F Kim, but I'm gonna do this to humor you. I remember this. Are you kidding me? I swear I had tried that already. I did not mean to do that. Please keep it secret for Mr. Ingo that I sing this song, she said, smiling like an idiot.
Who the hell do you think you are? You any kind of artist? Anybody know who you are? Maybe everybody else wants to enjoy the peace and quiet. This is one of the most important places in all of North America. Who are you? Who are you? You miserable, presumptuous, no talent. You're no artist. An artist respects the silence. It serves as the foundation of creativity.
I could always watch this clip.
Obviously don't have the talent.
Ow. Oh yeah, oh crap. I ignored... I'm sorry, Captain DN. I feel like I owe Captain DN, who put in the first request, even though I wanted to make it so I'd get audio cues when this thing happens. I'm gonna do Captain DN first. Proud Cat Dad. I feel like we've done this one before. Proud Cat Dad. Emphasis on the dad. All right. We'll do Emma's in a bit. I have my Proud Cat Dad hat on now. And Proud Human Dad. You bomb the wall, Tomar. All right.
Talent.
Ow. Ow. Okay. All right. That's a fun time. All right, Golden Pen. This one's pretty messy due to how little time I had, but here's Tomamoto versus Volvagia from last stream. Yeah, that was rough. That was my first death against a boss, a proper boss. I had lots of deaths against a mini boss, but that was my first death against a boss, I think, on stream. This next one is by Ghostly Ghoul, or at Ghostly Doodler. Everybody want to be a superstar. Kind of leans more towards Oni Plays fan art, but it still counts. It does still count. If I'm in it, it counts. I appreciate this. I appreciate this art. Thank you for that, Ghostly Ghoul. Is Ghostly Ghoul here today? Do I see a Ghostly Ghoul anywhere out there? No, not at this moment. But there's always the VOD. Oh, no, there you are, Ghostly Ghoul. Hello. I just didn't wait long enough. Here's the text-free version. Ooh, I like that. We're just having a nice little look at that again. I don't know. I might steal this one and use as my profile pic for a minute. That's a good one. With your permission, of course. I like that. Does anyone else see that? See what? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, but that concludes our Tomart Tuesday. Now, what to do? I'm gonna be straight with you. I'm planning for this to probably be a short stream because I'm all worried about my baby and I'm worried about my exam tomorrow. There's a fly in your mouth in that picture? Wait, what? No, I'm not going back and looking at it. I'm not going back and looking at it, Harold Krell. I'm not. What exam am I taking tomorrow? The AWS SysOps Administrator exam. It's a professional certification exam. It's that kind of exam. Oy. Sorry, I was just stretching. I'm not yelling. My voice gets loud when I'm stretching. Be a good dad and go study. We'll be okay. Don't worry. I'm not going to cut us off yet. But I might end in like 40 minutes from now. If you guys don't mind. Also, thank you, Milk Gogi. I don't think I thanked Milk Gogi for 11 minutes ago becoming a new member of the subscriberverse. And Jedi Slayer 88 7 minutes ago who resubscribed with Prime for 4 months. Merchandising TomarStream the t-shirt, TomarStream the coloring book. I can't wait. Okay. Charlie said, ooh, the muscles. I don't know what you're talking about. When I stretched? I don't know. I don't got muscles. I don't have muscles right now. I long to find the time to exercise properly again. Captain DN, thank you for the 250 bits. Thank you, Tomar, for carving into your forehead for me. Hurrah. Oh, you're welcome, Captain DN. Let's split the difference here before the thing bounces, though. Now that we've had Proud Cat Dad up here for a while, I'm going to move on to Emma Memer's request. All right, and the next bit is going to be, let's see. I don't even know what that means. And I'm a JoJo fan. Good luck reading this. Former Jodio Joestar voice actor? Who the hell is Jodio Joestar? Who is Jodio? Confirmed he's going to be Jodio. Part 9 JoJo. Oh, have they announced stuff for Part 9 yet? You're making stuff up. Are you guys it's really out? Everyone's saying 9 is out. I didn't know that, okay? I did not know that. I'll start tracking it again now. Nobody told me this. Goodness gracious. Now I know there's a Jodio. And thank you for the vote of confidence, Emma Memer. I need it. I need it after all these massive hits to my pride. Most of which were just from my practice exam score this afternoon, which, like I said, the original thing, the practice exams that came with the course I was originally studying with, clearly set too easy. Because, like, my first attempt, I got like an 87. And then I took another exam, different questions from the same course, got a 93. Took another one, same course, got a 98. I'm like, okay, wow, okay, I'm tightening up. And then I took another one from a completely different course, and I got a 60. I got a 60. You need a 72 to pass, by the way. I got a 60%. The questions were way harder. I could tell right off the bat. I should do practice tests for my stream today. You know, what if I did do that? They're practice tests, so there's nothing against the rules about me streaming that. I would just bore the hell out of everybody. Everyone would just leave anyway, wouldn't they? Should I really do an AWS practice exam on the stream here? I could. We could always start. Here, let's see how this goes. What's cool about this exam is, since it's not a real exam, it'll pause if I go inactive for a given amount of time. So I could, it'll pause the timer. Would we leave? Would you leave? It's the big question now. All right. You see, I did terribly on my first exam. I got a 60%. You need a 72% to pass. Just blew my mind. Okay. Let's begin a practice exam. Okay, some of your users' requests are completely being lost due to the metric spillover count being greater than 0. This is now happening daily. Your application is running on EC2 instances managed by an auto-scaling group running behind a load balancer. What should you do to prevent this issue from happening? Let's see, spillover count, monitor for surge queue length, and scale the ASG based on that metric. Monitor for backend connection errors and scale the ASG based on that metric. Enable ALB access logs and scale based on CloudWatch logs. Or pre-worm your load balancer. See, already I have no idea what the answer to this is. Let's see, surge queue length. Let's see some. I don't feel like pre-warming the load balancer would be it. And I don't think there's such thing as scaling based on CloudWatch logs. So it's one of the first two. I'm going to go for surge queue length. The cool thing about these practice exams is they explain all the answers at the end. So even if I get them wrong, I learned something. You would like to establish a software. There's 65 questions on this exam, by the way. You would like to establish a software-only private connection between your corporate data center and your AWS VPC. Which of the following components should you not use? Well, since it's a software-only private connection, Direct Connect requires a physical hardware connection. So I'm pretty sure that's our answer. All right. Your home cooking website stores its recipes and comments from users in a multi-AZ RDS database, which is located in a private subnet. Do you need that? Are you looking for something? Do you need help? Do you need help with Maya? No. Oh, you just came to visit?
I wanted to make a request.
You wanted to make a request for my hat?
No!
Oh, what's the request?
Just the news today about
Oh,
Maya.
that Maya's gigantic. Maya is like above. You know how there's like the 99th percentile and what she was like above that for height and weight. I have a giant baby. She's like the biggest 6-month-old girl ever. Maybe not ever, but she is like above the like 100th percentile on the charts. She's what? 24 pounds? How?
I can look.
She's heavy.
Yeah.
And she's
Killing Jax.
she's 22 pounds 10 ounces, I want to say, or something like that, or 24 pounds 10 ounces. I don't know. And then she's like, yeah, what's it say? 28 and a half inches tall as a 6-month-old girl.
21 pounds
and 21 pounds 10 ounces. Okay, that one I think I got right. She's a big baby. I'm so proud of my big baby.
Don't mess.
She might be 6'5". Who knows? That's entirely possible. She's definitely inherited Jaxie's height. That's the simplest explanation for this.
Are you doing your test?
Oh yeah. This was chat's idea for me to study on stream.
Alright. You know what? Alright. Good influence, guy.
Jaxie says you guys are a good influence. Your home cooking website stores its recipes and comments from users in a multi-availability zone RDS database, which is located in a private subnet. As of yesterday, it seems your users are unable to access the website and see an error message, 512 cannot connect to the database. What could be the reason why the website cannot connect to the database anymore? Okay. Security group outbound rules have changed. I guess that's a possibility. A read replica has been created recently. Yeah, so it's 3 things I have to select. The primary database's private IP has changed. I want to say DB security group inbound rules, a read replica. See, a read replica maybe came up in a zone where security is different. I don't know. It could definitely be security group outbound rules or DB security group inbound rules. Network ACL, I wouldn't think would affect it because it seems like they'd be in the same VPC, even though that's not explicitly stated. I doubt it's that the primary database's private IP is changed. With RDS, you're using host names, not DNS, you guys. I'm going to go with these 3. Your company has decided to elect AWS champions that will train and drive the AWS cloud adoption internally. You would like to perform an analysis to see your most active AWS users. How can you do that? The IAM usage report and Athena. Use guard duty and Athena. Use CloudTrail and Athena, or use VPC flow logs. I don't know if the IAM usage report is a real thing. I'm pretty sure this is going to be CloudTrail and Athena. CloudTrail saves to S3. Athena is used to query S3 directly. You are launching an EC2 instance and it fails with an insufficient instance capacity error. What should you do? Let's see. Try to relaunch the instance in another AZ. Request for a service limit increase. Use AWS Trust Advisor to understand the root cause, or run Amazon Inspector on your EC2 instances. No, definitely not Amazon Inspector. That's not what that's for. Trusted Advisor, kind of related, but I don't think that's it. I want to say you need to get a service limit increase. Insufficient instance capacity. Sounds like you just hit an instance limit, which may be per availability zone. AZ is availability zone. Crap. See, like I said, these questions are way harder than the ones I'm used to. Is there a better category for this than just chatting? Good question. Is there what are the categories? Let me have a look here. So just chatting. Let's see. There's nothing for exams. Is there like a general like technology education? Is that really a topic? Oh, it is. Or is education the name of a game? I'm going to call it education. Why not? Okay. As a service provider, you generate a daily report that you need to share with your dynamically changing list of over 10,000 customers. These reports sit in S3. You know, this. Imagine taking a test in front of 160 people. I just want you guys to think about that. As a service provider, you generate a daily report that you need to share with your dynamically changing list of over 10,000 customers. These reports sit in S3, and you would like to automate sharing the reports with them so they can have on-demand access upon their identity being proven. You plan to use Cognito, API Gateway, and AWS Lambda to address this use case. On the S3 side, what should you do? Create a bucket policy so that S3 files are only accessible from CloudFront and force SSL mutual authentication there. Make the S3 bucket public and password protect each S3 file. Share the password. Pre-signed URLs is clearly where they're going with this one. I'm just going to answer that and move on. As part of monitoring your global e-learning website, you have decided to implement a CloudWatch dashboard. The most important metric to monitor is the number of users that are connected over time in each region. Which option should you opt for? Okay. CloudWatch dashboard. Create one CloudWatch dashboard and add a graph per region using the region simulator in the top, region selector in the top right corner of the AWS console. Create one CloudWatch dashboard and add a special widget of type multi-region graph. Create one CloudWatch dashboard of the metric and tick the option global metric. Use the CloudWatch dashboard region drop-down to change the graph on demand. Or create one CloudWatch dashboard per region. They've got to have a multi-region graph, right? I don't know. I really don't know. But let's see. Like this one doesn't make sense. The first one. The global metric one and then use the dashboard region drop down to change the graph on demand kind of makes sense, but a dashboard is meant to have everything visible at once. I want to say it's this. Create one CloudWatch dashboard and add a special widget of type multi-region graph. That might be made up, but if they don't do that, it's stupid, right? Okay, you are deploying an application and use the CFN init and CFN signal script to ensure the application is properly deployed before signaling to CloudFormation the success of your stack deployment. Right now, every time you deploy, CloudFormation completes successfully, even though the instance is still executing the CFN init script. As a systems administrator, which of the following would you identify as the root cause behind the issue? I use CloudFormation all the time, and I don't know what CFN init and CFN signal are. What the hell? What the hell? CloudFormation successfully, even though the instance is still running the CFN in its script. I forgot a wait condition, or I forgot to include the CFN signal command in my user data. This implies I already do have a CFN signal script, though. I'm just going to say you forgot the wait condition. I don't know. I really don't know. When your baby products website started, it was running at low volume, so your instances of type T2 micro were doing a fine job. Thank you, Wanna Sprite Cramby. Ooh, that made me thirsty for soda. Thank you for subscribing with Prime and making me crave soda, even if I don't have a Sprite or cranberry juice. All right. Let's get some Dr. Pepper in us. That'll make us do better, right? Okay. After a while, your website exploded in popularity. Now your ELB is seeing greater traffic. You plan for the scaling events, and your T2 micro instances are running in an auto-scaling group. You've noticed the EC2 instances are experiencing high CPU utilization because the CPU is being throttled and has very poor performance, and your users are complaining. Hence, the ASG is not scaling. What can you do to improve the performance of your application? Why the hell did you stick with T2 micros? Those barely have any CPU to begin with. Those are like single core. Yeah, your T2 micro instances have run out of burst credit. Switch to something bigger. I think that is probably one. Or I could do T2 unlimited. This has nothing to do with my load balancer. Okay. Your data center generates tens of terabytes of daily data and has cumulative historic data volume of 5 petabytes. The data center is running short of storage as well as bandwidth infrastructure to store or transfer this data. Later, you would like to analyze this data using Redshift or Athena. However, first, you must clean it using a proprietary process running on EC2. What's the optimal way of moving this data to the cloud? 5 petabytes? I'm going to say Snowball Edge, which is, just so you guys know, it's literally they send you a massive self-contained box that's packed with a ridiculous amount of hard drives. And you just manually transfer the data, ship it to them, and they plug it in and load it into S3, essentially. I feel like for 5 petabytes, none of these other solutions make sense unless you have like a massive amount of bandwidth you're willing to burn through and a direct connect. Okay, an EC2 instance, which is part of an auto-scaling group, has been marked as unhealthy. Should I really keep doing this? Am I boring the crap out of everybody? I feel like I am. Everyone's saying yes, keep going. Weeping Blade, thank you for resubbing for 17 months. Glad to see TF2 as an integral part to AWS. Hey, it's T2, not TF2. And 3-time Tiger, thank you for the gifted sub to Harold Krell. An EC2 instance, which is part of an auto-scaling group, has been marked as unhealthy because of a health check. What is the outcome of the instance being marked as unhealthy? If custom health marks the instance unhealthy, ESG will not replace the unhealthy instance automatically. ESG will replace the unhealthy instance with a healthy instance. I'm pretty sure that's the answer. An instance can automatically recover its health in the specified grace period. Hence, ASG will wait for the grace period to expire. I believe that's true. Actually. And the health check status has to be defined as unhealthy by both EC2 and Elastic Load Balancer for the ASG to replace the instance. No one even mentioned an Elastic Load Balancer. It's not that one. I think there's a chance for it to recover. Okay. After enabling S3 MFA delete, for which actions do you need MFA? Permanently delete an object version, or MFA delete, I just knew involved deleting. Listing deleted versions doesn't seem to make sense. I'm going to guess suspending versioning is going to require MFA too. Oh, man. All right. I don't think it's listing deleted versions. That's all I'm saying. Even though that seems like, because it's got the word delete in it. I don't think it's that. I think that's a misdirect. You have a production Postgres RDS database and and a custom rule in AWS config has been set up and shows that some connections established to your database are not encrypted. How can you ensure all connections to RDS are encrypted? Review the DB parameters group, patch the database with the SSL TLS Postgres add-on, edit the security group rules, or enable SSL connections from the RDS console. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it's not patching the database. Security group rules are just about ports we accept, but I think SSL connections are already enabled because it's just saying some connections established to your database are not encrypted. I would just review DB parameter groups. That's so late. I hate these questions. Again, this thing is destroying me. You have developed a... Wait a minute. It's for just Postgres RDS. There's probably something under the parameter groups you can use to say, like, only accept TLS SSL connections or something like that. I feel like that's the only place you'd set that. It's not about enabling or patch. You don't patch an RDS. It's technically a managed instance. You have developed a script that checks if all the instances that were launched in your AWS region are using an AMI ID that is authorized by your financial company standards. After creating and testing the script in your region, Europe West 1, you share it with your colleagues in New York and ask them to run the script. Upon running it, they come back to you and say it's not working as all the instances are declared non-compliant. Auditors manually check the instances and they are indeed compliant. What did you do wrong? Okay, the API call limit's been reached. The script did not handle the error case. That definitely doesn't sound like it. The script is missing IAM permissions. Edit the script to include the IAM policy from within and run it again. Maybe. Your colleagues did not run the script properly. You write detailed documentation on what they did wrong. That just doesn't feel like a legitimate answer to an AWS question. AMI IDs are region specific, and a different list of compliant AMI ID should be provided based on the region of where the script is executed. I'm pretty sure it's that one. AMIs are region specific. The big data team at an insurance company is performing a nightly ETL on top of your production RDS database to compute a view and then extract it into their data lake in Amazon S3. This query has been performing reasonably well in your website's infancy, but now it has grown in popularity. The query is running for a much longer period and affects the user experience while they browse your website. How can you improve the situation in the short and long term? Okay, so forming a nightly ETL on top of your production RDS. Oh, okay, we need read replicas. Yeah. So if your database is getting hammered because you're doing data warehousing crap in the back, you should copy a read replica so that they can slam the replica instead of the primary. Okay, your company has recently been attacked by a team of hackers exploiting vulnerability in your Windows OS. A new Windows patch has been released, and it needs to be ETL. That should be a read-only operation, right? I think it is. Okay. Exploiting a vulnerability in your Windows OS. A new Windows patch has been released. Oh, by the way, I'm missing some stuff. Let me go back. I think I did thank 3-Time Tiger for the gift to Harold Krell. The Great Newt, thank you for the dime. All I need is your soothing voice to fall asleep, even if you're speaking wingdings. I'm glad I can help with something here. We got a new hat request. I need the spray. I need the dang spray. Azuma put one in. All right. Oh, I need a napkin too, apparently. Okay. Oh my god. This thing isn't writing now. Spray it one more time. Wipe it down. All right. CFN in it. Wait. Condition. This is Azuma's play on a previous exam question. It was weight condition, originally spelled WAIT, and now he's made it a weight condition hat. I don't even know if that's the correct answer. What do you mean now I won't forget? Your company has recently been attacked by a team of hackers exploiting a vulnerability in your Windows OS. A new Windows patch has been released and needs to be applied as soon as possible to all your instances. How can you do it? Patch the instance directly with AWS config interface. Use Artifact. Deploy the patch using System Manager. Deploy it using Amazon Inspector. Systems Manager, I believe, is because Systems Manager houses Patch Manager, which is designed for exactly doing that. You just released a new mobile game, and users have the chance to interact with each other. In order to publish a profile picture, by the way, thank you, Weeping Blade, for the gifted sub to Snot, and thank you, Thubs, for your new subscription with Prime. Okay. In order to publish a profile picture, your company has made the architectural decision to have users directly upload their image into a designated S3 bucket. How can you provide right access to the mobile application users effectively? This is going to be another signed thing, isn't it? Create an AWS. Oh, no. Let's see. Create an AWS Lambda function that will create an IAM user for each new user. No, that's a terrible idea. Federate the users with SAML so they can single sign on to access S3. That might be an option. Create one IAM user and publish the access keys as part of the mobile application. That's a terrible idea. And federate the users with Cognito so they can assume a role in S3. Shoot. It's going to be one of these federate options. Cognito, I know, is like an Amazon hosted service that I've never used for anything. I'm going to go with SAML. It's a common single sign-on protocol, and it's more generic than Cognito. I don't even know. In fact, Cognito probably wouldn't be it because Amazon has their own like federation thing. I'm pretty sure it's the SAML thing. How should MFA delete be enabled on an S3 bucket? Using admin IAM user and the AWS CLI, using admin IAM user and the AWS console, using the root account and the AWS console, or using the root account and the AWS CLI. Do you have to be the root account to enable MFA delete? Why would they even? Oh my God. I actually have no idea. I don't know the answer to this one. That's what I get for never. I've never enabled MFA delete on an S3 bucket before. I mean, I'm aware of the feature. I've studied it a million times. MFA delete requires that you use multi-factor authentication when deleting an object from your S3 bucket. It's supposed to be a safeguard against accidental deletions. Oh, by the way, Almighty Mandals, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Most excellent, thank you for subscribing for 17 months in a row now. And Boehner Tracks, thank you for the 100 bits and the Nerdmar comment. How should MFA delete? I've never done it. This one really is just like a crapshoot. Root account. I'm going to just say IAM user in the AWS console. No, I don't know. There's very few things that that you have to do in either CLI or the console. But it's very rare something can be done on the console and not the CLI. It's more common that something can be done in the CLI and not the console. I'm going to say admin IAM user and the AWS CLI. Because I feel like it's generally frowned upon to use root user for most things. Root account. Sleepy Bun thinks it's root account, though. I mean, that would make sense. That would technically... Oh, my gosh. I'm going to go root account. Why not? Which of the following services allows for an in-place switch from unencrypted to encrypted without impacting existing operations? Definitely not EFS. S3 is encrypted by default, as far as I know. I don't know if you're even allowed to do unencrypted S. No, you are. Crap, is it S3? Ooh. EFS I know has to be set to encrypted at rest from creation time, and you can't switch it afterwards. EBS? I don't know. RDS? I also don't know. Oh my goodness. Yeah, from unencrypted to encrypted. Not the other way around necessarily. You wouldn't think RDS. RDS being databases, for those that don't know. The clock is speeding up. All right. Which of the following services allows for an in-place switch from unencrypted? I'm going to say S3. I'm going to regret it, but I'm going to say S3. All right. You would like to replace your on-premises NFS v3 drive with something that will leverage the huge capacity of Amazon. This is going to be EFS. You would like to ensure files are commonly locally cached. Commonly used files are locally cached on premises. What should you use? Oh, maybe not EFS. Crap, it's either volume gateway or file gateway. I'm glad I read the whole question. Because these also leverage S3. EFS would make sense for not on-premise stuff. Files that are commonly used or locally cached on-premise. I want to say file gateway for this one. JW thinks it's volume gateway. Oh my gosh. Why do we have to make this so tough? I'm not reading chat. I think it's file gateway. File gateway can they both do local caching? I'm going to go with my heart. Your infrastructure runs a daily job to compute different metrics based on all resources that are running in your account. The goal of this job is to provide you with metrics that will be pushed into a reporting Tableau dashboard and allow your sysops administrator to make good decisions to bring the costs down. This job is fault tolerant and can be resumed at any time. Which EC2 instance should be used to keep costs low? That's a spot instance. If ever I saw a question for spot instance, the whole it can be resumed at any time and it's fault tolerant. Spot instance. It's always the cheapest. You are in S3 and have deleted all the files in it. As you can see, the bucket is empty. Wow, they actually give you an image on this one. You've tried to delete the bucket and it fails with an error saying bucket is not empty. Look, notice how versions say hide instead of show. That's the real hint. You've tried to delete the bucket afterward and it fails with an error saying the bucket is not empty. What's the issue? S3 bucket policy is set up, prevents bucket deletion. S3 is eventually consistent. Wait 2 minutes and retry. It will work then. S3 versioning is enabled and delete markers are still present in the bucket. I'm betting on C. Good night, Puddin' Pie 08. Oh my gosh, our viewership's been going up while I've been doing this crap. I have not done Security Plus, Rimbus. I actually have. I don't think I've ever done a CompTIA exam. I've done Cisco stuff and I've done AWS stuff. And as you maybe recall from last year, I'm a certified Kubernetes administrator as well. But yeah, I got a CCNA and I'm a CKA, and I'm currently an Amazon solutions architect. And if I pass this SysOps, it'll renew that cert and give me 3 years on this one. CCNA is Cisco Certified Network Administrator. I specifically got the routing and switching, which is the most common CCNA cert. Dat guy, that guy, you know, thank you for subbing with Prime. Okay. Your company is experiencing an unusually high cost of elastic IPs, as most of them sit unassigned. Management would like to see a report showing the allocation of costs for these EIPs by department. What do you advise on doing? Okay, create a Lambda that checks on an hourly basis. I don't know about that. Use AWS Artifact to forbid people from leaving elastic IPs unassigned for more than 20 minutes. Define an AWS config rule per department and track costs. Define cost allocation tags and generate a report using Cost Explorer. I feel like there would be. No, can you do a rule per department? I feel like this is trying to push me towards cost allocation tags because of the whole per department thing. I'm going to go with that. That's what my gut says. You are provisioning an internal full LAMP stack using CloudFormation, and the EC2 instance gets configured automatically using the CFN helper scripts, such as CFN init and CFN signal. This is definitely something I have to read about. I never use this stuff. The stack, and again, I'm constantly using CloudFormation. The stack creation fails as CloudFormation fails to receive a signal from your EC2 instance. What are the possible reasons for this? AWS is experiencing an insufficient capacity for the instance type you requested. The CFN, okay. CFN init script failed. The EC2 instance does not have proper IAML, allowing to signal the success to CloudFormation. The CFN signal script does not get executed before the timeout of the wait condition, or the subnet where the application is deployed does not have a network route to the CloudFormation service through a NAT gateway or internet gateway. Two of these are possibly to blame. Could it be this? Like it's a permissions issue. The IAML does not allow. Okay, it's provisioning a full LAMP stack. EC2 instance gets configured automatically using. Is the LAMP stack all on the EC2 instance? I don't know. I'm going to just say these two and move on. You host a forum for law questions, and per your country's law, you must store all the archives of conversations, about 1 terabyte, every week for 7 years. These archives must not be tampered with in any way, and you must prove you have set enough controls around your data protection. What should you do? Let's see. I would say store the archives in Glacier because that's a long ass time, 7 years. And set up vault lock policy for worm access. Worm, by the way, for the uninitiated, means write once, read many. So, in other words, it shouldn't be able to be tampered with once it's been written to. You sell beauty products and have spent thousands of dollars on a new marketing campaign that declares that the 22nd of February is National Beauty Day. The marketing campaign is showing very early signs of success, and on the 22nd of February, you expect traffic to increase by 10 times on your website. Your CEO wants to make sure your entire infrastructure is ready for the big day. Your website runs on Elastic Beanstalk, which deployed an ASG and an ELB. What should you do to ensure you can handle the traffic? Okay. The marketing campaign is showing very early signs of success. You expect, okay. So you have an existing infrastructure and you're expecting stuff to increase 10 times on a specific day you can predict. Definitely not anything to do with support requests. Oh, you know what? Unless it's to request a limit increase, that would be a legitimate reason. If you're worried you won't be able to scale as high as you need to. I don't know why enabling a blue-green beanstalk deployment would help, considering it doesn't seem like you're making any changes to your actual code or environment. You could use weighted policy record? No. Both of these only make sense if you have like two environments that you're splitting people between. Well, no, blue-green isn't that, but weighted policy. Oh, man. I thought it would talk about stuff like what you're going to tune your ASG with, but I'm pretty sure this is 1. I need to know what number 2 is. Tomar, Twitch is having to enable blue. I bet you Twitch runs entirely on AWS, especially considering Amazon's owned it for the last several years. But I bet it's not using Elastic Beanstalk. Because who the hell uses Elastic Beanstalk? It could be convenient, I guess. I don't see how weighted records would help. That's more for like doing like a canary kind of test. But I also don't see how blue-green beanstalk deployment would help either. We're just planning for high traffic. Is really pre-warming the load balancer? I don't. I don't know. This quiz feels like a marketing pamphlet. I mean, all this stuff, they want to get you super intimately familiar with their very specific technology stack. That's how all these kinds of certs work. 3-time Tiger. So it's kind of a combination. Pre-warm the load balancer. I've seen the term used a million times, but I'm actually not super familiar with. I thought that just means like, I don't know. I don't know. Definitely the pen testing thing, isn't it? And I'm pretty sure weighted policy record. Again, that's just like basically like saying 10% of people who query the DNS record will get this resolution and like 90% will get this resolution, or 50% will get one and 50% will get the other. Blue-green is just like you can switch code, you do a new deployment, and then you have your old environment to roll back to real quick if your new deployment sucks. So none of these make sense. I'm going to say pre-warm the load balancer because none of the other stuff makes sense. Process of elimination. You were developing a new cloud formation stack and writing some very complex CFN init code. The code fails and you would like to debug. Why? When reading the documentation, you see all the logs are in the file and will give you more information as to why the instance provisioning is failing. But you realize that you can't gain access to this file as the cloud formation stack always terminates the EC2 instance when the creation fails. Okay. This is the third time CFN init has come up on this stupid exam, and I've never seen it once on any of my other practice exams. What? I feel like these guys are just trying to psych me out. Oh, yeah, I know CFN init is literally on my hat, Azuma. That doesn't make me an expert. Now, does it? Can I make my face cam way bigger? You know what? That's fair. You guys don't need to read this that badly. All right, there's the new face cam. I could even... What if I just... Who cares about the green screen even, right? What if we turned off my... what's it called? Let's go... Oh, no. Filters... I could take my crop off. There we go. There. I got even more room now here on the side. Okay. Put on some lo-fi beats. Okay. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Where's that Twitch music app? What's it called? I don't even know if I have it installed right now. I don't think I reinstalled that since I had the big drive encryption crash from late last year. You're right. Now I can point to answers. Lo-fi beats to RMRF route 2. Thank you. Let's see. Twitch music. Let's get that. Let's get Twitch music. We can get the web app version for now. Oh, soundtrack by Twitch. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I don't have the hard thing. Use soundtrack web player. And let's just do some... There we go. We'll just have these on in the background. Oh, I'm not worried about the timer. Okay. You're developing a new CloudFormation stack, writing very complex CFN init code. The code fails. You'd like to debug why. All right. You can't gain access to this file as the CloudFormation stack always terminates the EC2 instance when creation fails. What can you do to access these log files while not changing the way your EC2 instance works and ensure you can debug your instance for over 24 hours? Install the CloudWatch Logs agent, create a new IAM role, assign it to the EC2 instance, send the logs directly to CloudWatch Logs. That's a reasonable solution, I think. There's a set on failure equals do nothing. So one that doesn't make it roll back. I don't know if that's a real thing or not. Enable VPC flow logs. No, that won't help at all. Flow logs is like network flow stuff for the record. Net flow logs. And increase the wait timeout to 2 hours. Well, this says debug your instance over 24 hours. It's going to be either A or D. But I mean, this doesn't quite make sense in the context of the CloudFormation stack. I'm gonna go for the on failure do nothing, so it doesn't clean itself up on a failure. I believe that's the idea. Okay, a company provides their on-premises application with low latency access to data by maintaining all the data on premises. With increased infrastructure costs and unreliable disaster recovery options for the on-premises infrastructure, the company wants to move the data to AWS Cloud while still maintaining the current low latency access for the on-premises applications, which is the right way to store the on-premises iSCSI block devices. That seems like a very strong hint at volume gateway. Yeah, none of these other instances really make sense. This file gateway is more for storing raw file objects. Volume gateway is for block device data. So I'm pretty sure that's right in this case. By the way, Labungus, thank you for rating me with yourself. And Jerban, thank you for resubbing for 8 months. 8 funnier months. Have a good one, Tomar. Thank you, Jerban. Okay. No, they're saying low latency locally, Thubs, for that last question. See, they're using all their stuff's on premises. So they're saying they want stuff that's also like on the local network. Volume Gateway will cache that stuff locally while still maintaining it all in S3. Like copies of all the data. A project has an application load balancer configured to route each request independently to the registered targets based on the chosen load balancing algorithm. The team wants to set up a solution that allows the servers to maintain state information to provide a continuous experience to the end users. As a sysops administrator, which of the following will you identify as the correct way to configure the required session affinity? This is going to go into sticky sessions, isn't it? Connection draining is not something you enable. Cookies is not something you enable on an application load balancer. Stickiness is the only thing that really makes sense here. If it needs to be stateful, your better bet is to just store state in a shared like Elasticache database, either Memcache or Redis. Anyway, you have designed an AMI, and then your web applications can be stateless, and sessions will survive instance failure. Okay, you have designed an AMI in an account that is optimizing the legacy database technology your gambling company has developed. You wish to share that AMI with other AWS accounts that belong to the same organization. How do you do it? Okay. Edit the account list that can see the AMI from the AMI console UI and create an IAM role to be assumed by the other accounts using STS, and other accounts can start using it. I don't think you need an IAM role to do that. Edit the account list that can see your AMI from... I think that you just need this part. The AMI can be shared without doing anything special. Just provide the target account with your secret AMI ID. No. You definitely have to manually share it with other accounts. I'm pretty sure it's option 3. But they still need to know what region it's in, and they need to copy it to other regions. But whatever. Getting out of scope. Your work... We're already on question 31, you guys. We're making good progress here. I thank you for sticking with me. You work for a blockchain company. You have a ledger application that is... And also now have... And Maya has not been crying for a while, so I have less reason not to run this to 10 o'clock or however long it takes to finish this exam. You work for a blockchain company. You have a ledger application that is memory intensive. I'm not almost out of time. We're doing great. It is exposed in an auto-scaling group behind a load balancer. You would like to auto-scale your application based on the number of users you have. As a sysops administrator, which of the following would you recommend to meet this requirement? Using the RAM usage CloudWatch metric directly from the load balancer and auto-scale based on that. But let's see, what? I spent too much time reading and not enough time understanding what I just read. Auto-scaling group, you want to auto-scale based on the number of users you have. Okay. So you could use RAM usage from the load balancer and auto-scale based on that. Push RAM usage as a custom metric for the load balancer and auto-scale based on that. Auto-scale based on the number of connections. CloudWatch metric for the load balancer. Deploy a script on the load balancer. Dispose of it. I mean, yes, that makes the most sense. They're saying based on the number of users you have, which would be more directly reflected in your connections count than your RAM usage. And deploy a script on the load balancer literally is a made-up answer. That doesn't make any sense. You have deployed a public and a private subnet. As such, you have also deployed an internet gateway, a NAT gateway, an egress-only internet gateway, and a virtual private gateway. You would like your private subnet instances to get IPv4 access to the internet. How should you edit your route tables? It's a private subnet, which means you don't want to expose it to the internet via an internet gateway. You're going to use a NAT gateway. Egress only would make sense only if you were using IPv6. And virtual private gateway, this is just arbitrary. This has nothing to do with internet access. This is a local network thing. Okay. A company manages multiple applications on a fleet of Amazon EC2 instances. The company is looking at automating the process of patch management for all the instances that include OS updates, application updates, and security updates. What service/tool is the right fit for this requirement? Fleet Manager, a capability of AWS Systems Manager, can be used to automatically patch Manager, a capability of AWS Systems Manager. Yes, okay. You have an ASG in which the terminate process is suspended. That's an auto-scaling group, by the way. Your auto-scaling group goes into a rebalance. What will happen? The terminate process is suspended. Okay, the rebalance will not start as the terminate process. The rebalance will start and the EC2 instances will launch and the ACT will grow up to 10% of its size after a bit. The instance will get terminated as it is over capacity. I think if terminate is suspended, yeah, it'll start, EC2 instances will launch, ASG will grow. Shit, I'm not sure now. The rebalance will not start. I would think that it would just do its normal thing, but then not terminate any instances. I don't know where this 10% of its size comes from, though. That's the part that's like weirding me out. Where's 10% coming from? I'm still gonna go with that one. That's what my gut's telling me. Oh, we got a new hat request? Oh, Ghostly Ghoul. Ghostly Ghoul put in a hat request. Hold on. Even though this takes up precious testing time, I think we're doing just fine. I think we're gonna finish well before 10 o'clock. And this timer gives us to like what? No, this marker belongs. I mean, I did take that one at some point. Yes.
You did.
Yeah, I stole that months ago.
Months ago.
Whenever I first did this, yeah. TomarStream, let's see. I don't even know what to make of this Ghostly Ghoul. So the message is TomarStream mice merch when? Why mice? I don't know. Is that... Do you want me to play Backpack Hero again? Is that what you're trying to say, Ghostly Ghoul? Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. All right, SysOps administrator shared an AMI from account A to account B and then deregistered the AMI in a few days. What is the outcome of this action? You can't launch new instances from the AMI in account A or account B. I believe that's... Oh, wait. I don't actually know. Select 2. The instances already launched from the shared AMI and out P are not impacted. I believe that's true. Because they've already been launched. They've already been copied into an EBS volume. But you can't launch new ones. Copy the AMI to a different region in account B. I mean, this is like good advice on what you should have done before this happened, but that's not the outcome. You can launch new instances from the deregistered AMI from account B alone. I don't think this is correct because it's shared. I think the deregistered AMI is just unavailable. This is what I'm going with. We got a hype train going again. Wow. Bardingo man, thank you for resubbing for 2 months. And by the way, I appreciate you guys following along with all this. It really is helping me calm my nerves for the exam tomorrow. Yeah, let's move that a bit. Still getting a bit of hat shadow, but what are you gonna do? Okay. Your e-commerce website has a few really popular items that constitute 10% of your portfolio items in your RDS database, but represent 90% of your traffic. Your database is starting to struggle with the read demand, and your CTO tasked you with designing a solution to improve the read scalability on the database side. Read replicas is the obvious answer. And then multi-AZ is really just for fault tolerance. That wouldn't help with improved performance. Yeah, Elasticache cluster is the only other one here that really would help. Set up an API gateway with cache enabled. in front of your database. That seems messy. I think the Elasticache cluster is a better answer. I don't feel like APA Gateway is meant for that. Like, there's RDS proxy, but that's more to do with connection stability than it wouldn't help your read performance. Yeah, I'm content. Thank you, 3-Time Tiger, for the 35 bits toward my hype train. Your accounting application on an EC2 instance has a tendency to sometimes go into a panic, and then the CPU utilization of your EC2 instance runs at 100% for a long duration. When this happens, someone has to manually intervene and restart your application for it to work properly again. Ooh, that's awful. How can you automate this in the most efficient way? Put your instance in an ASG behind an ELB, enable ELB health check so the instance gets terminated upon problems and a new one gets started. I guess that's a solution. Create a CloudWatch alarm when CPU utilization reaches 100% for 3 periods of 5 minutes. Trigger an EC2 reboot action. I mean, again, that's a possible answer. Invoke an AWS Lambda function via a cron job that checks for the metric every minute and restarts the instance if a problem is found, or create a CloudWatch event when CPU utilization reaches 100% and trigger an EC2 reboot action. So just hitting 100% triggering a reboot seems excessive. So the second option right now, the first and second option, let's see. I hate everything about all of these are like, none of these are really very efficient. Efficiency would be like fixing your app so it doesn't get stuck at 100% CPU. But put your instance, like the ASG is a much, also the ELB health check will only really tell us if the like web part is working, which, I mean, I don't know. It seems like we would still, the only thing we know for sure is the 100% CPU is like for a long duration. So like, yeah, 15 minutes and then it has to reboot. You'd want it to fix itself faster than that, but this is what I'm going to go for. The security team at your travel company has detected a series of malicious attacks on port 846. As such, it needs to ensure that all your security groups are compliant with having this port closed at all times. In the event such a port is being opened, you need to receive a notification as soon as possible. Which service can help you achieving such a task? AWS config, I believe, could work. AWS guard duty, I feel like, is specifically tailored for this sort of thing. It looks at all your EC2 instances and stuff and sees if certain ports are open. I'm gonna go with guard duty. Shield and WAF have other features. Wait a minute. Yeah. Web access firewall. I mean, this is already more of an internal concern. I don't think web access firewall is appropriate. Your accounting application. The Great Newt, by the way, thank you for the 15 bits. Your accounting application on an EC2 instance has a tendency to sometimes go into a... Oh, wait. This is the question we just did. Wait, did I go back by accident? Okay. An AWS Lambda function written in Python shuts down all instances at night for cost-saving purposes. Some of these instances should not be shut down as the underlying applications transition to an unstable state afterward. How could you efficiently prevent the shutdown of the critical instances? Let's see, store all the instance IDs you should not shut down into SSM parameter store. Change the shutdown behavior of the EC2 instances and enable termination protection as well. I mean, that stops them from being terminated, but it doesn't stop them from being shut down. Okay. Tag your EC2 instances and make the AWS Lambda script skipped. Oh, this is a Lambda function. Skip the shutdown if the tag is found. Yeah, honestly, that's probably the easiest way to do it, is just use tags. Like if you had to maintain an environment variable, tags would be easier to maintain than environment variables. As part of the best practices for DevOps, all your infrastructure is deployed using CloudFormation. This includes EBS volumes. When the CloudFormation stacks are deleted, it is mandatory to keep a snapshot of the EBS volumes for backup and compliance purposes. How can you achieve this using CloudFormation? Yeah, you would definitely use stack policy stuff. Deletion policy equals snapshot. Is that a real thing? I didn't know, but if it is, I'm learning something new and useful. Reference the EBS volume as a stack output. That wouldn't do anything. Use CFN helper scripts and wait conditions upon stack deletion. Enable termination protection. No. I mean, that would stop it. But we just need a snapshot. I'm going to go with that third option. If it's real, it's the best solution. If it's not real, it's probably termination protection. Okay, you operate a technology company that implements the Netflix chaos testing in production. This means that your EC2 instances in production can be terminated at any time to test the resiliency of your applications. You have been experiencing a lot of error 400s lately, or 4XX, on your website that is exposed by a load balancer. And you realize you cannot SSH into the instances that were producing these errors, as they have been terminated. How can you gain access to log files that describe the list of HTTP requests that were inducing these problems? I want to say ELB access logs. None of these other ones really make sense. It wouldn't be EC2 logs. Yeah, I'm going to go with ELB access logs. Your GP2 drive of 8 terabytes is reaching its peak performance of 10,000 IOPS while being almost fully utilized. How can you increase the performance while keeping the costs at the same level? Create 2 4 terabyte drives and mount them RAID 0. Enable burst mode on the GP2 drive. While keeping costs at the same level. I thought GP2 could do up to 16,000 IOPS if you increase the size. I feel like the RAID 0 thing might be a legitimate answer, but it seems silly. Enable burst mode. I mean, it should already be a bursting if it's a GP2 drive. It's a bursting type drive. I didn't think you needed to manually enable burst mode. And converting from GP2 to IO1 and increasing provision to IOPS would definitely cost more. I'm going to say enable burst mode because you start burning through burst credits. But I thought they do that automatically. I hate questions like this. But I learn a lot from questions like this too. The RAID 0 thing just sounds so hacky. Like why would making an 8 terabyte drive out of 2 GP2 drives give you better IOPS? I mean, I guess that's got to do with the way it scales. mean, technically, a RAID 0, because it's split between, if it's physical drives, it would give you better I/O performance. I'm gonna try it. Whatever. You would like to ensure your instances in your private subnet for US West 1B can talk to your public instances in US West 1C using their private IP addresses. Private subnet to public instances. How can you establish network connectivity between the two subnets in the simplest possible way? Create one VPC with two subnets. Yeah, the first option. You want a small website on EC2 you want a small website on EC2 instances under an ASG that has a target size varying between 2 and 10 instances. Your ASG has a policy to scale out when your target CPU utilization is above 75%. It's been over 3 hours. The CPU utilization of your ASG is 90%, and still no scaling out actions have taken place. What are the most likely reasons for this? It could be your ASG. Is it maximum capacity? If it come into this. I don't think there's such thing as static file caching on an ALB. Enhanced networking is not a good solution. It's gonna make things more expensive. Store the files on instance stores instead. Yeah, no. It was always gonna be S3 and distribute them using CloudFront. That way you get cheap storage and widespread caching. CDN type caching. Okay, you have tape backup processes and you would like to start migrating to the cloud to leverage the S3 storage capacity while keeping the same processes and iSCSI compatible backup software you purchased a 10-year license for. Tape gateway. Very obvious. Okay. Question 47. A healthcare company has machines both on their own data center for HIPAA compliance reasons as well as on the AWS cloud to perform their big data analysis. All the instances must be managed using the same Puppet modules as per the CTO decision. The implication, encryption on all the files, that's talking about encryption at rest. All of the rest of these answers are regarding encryption in transit. Okay, you are setting up a distributed in-memory database and you'd like to auto-scale your auto-scaling group based on the average RAM usage of your EC2 instance. Okay, you're setting up in-memory database, you'd like to auto-scale your auto-scaling group based on the average RAM usage of your EC2 instances. How can you achieve this? Place the instances behind a load balancer, which will have the compatibility of monitoring the RAM. That's false. Auto-scale your ASG based on CPU utilization. Nothing to do with memory. Push the RAM utilization as a custom metric using custom scripts and set up scaling. Enable DC2 detailed monitoring. Use the cloud. EC2 detailed monitoring. Is that? I didn't think load balancers could monitor the RAM, but it's like pushing it as a custom metric using custom scripts. But why not just the CloudWatch agent? I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I'm missing something here. I don't want to trip at the finish line or nothing. My brain's frying. No, you can definitely auto scale based on RAM. I don't know. It's got nothing to do with the ELB. And it wouldn't be CPU utilization. It's one of these last two. EC2 detailed monitoring? Is that Would it have to be custom or not? I'm not sure, you guys. I don't know how much dedicated wham to the server. Dark Lord of Trout, thank you for subbing, by the way. This one's like a crapshoot for me. I'm really not sure. Your RDS database sometimes can become unresponsive, failing health checks, and you need your application to fail over automatically and safely without using any committed transactions. That sounds like a good reason. Let's see. Enable RDS multi-AZ again. That is, I mean, that's only for like AZ outages. Sometimes become unresponsive, failing health checks. All this stuff is too complicated. I'm pretty sure multi-AZ is the solution here. As part of your yearly compliance report, it has been noted that many of your EC2 instances have been lagging with their OS patches updates. You decide to use SSM to patch these instances regularly to meet regulatory guidelines. You need to provide a report showing that no outstanding known vulnerabilities are left unpatched. This must be generated weekly. Which service should you use? I mean, wouldn't it still be SSM? It's not Shield or Guard Duty. That's not what those are for. I'm trying to remember how Inspector works. That one just flew out of my head. I know they already brought up SSM, but SSM also includes AWS config, which I think is what we're looking for here. I'm gonna go with SSM. You want to improve the process to assign the accounting for your AWS bills to the different departments that the resources belong to. You currently have all your resources under one AWS account, which is the best way to get billing reports for different company departments. Cost allocation tags. A development team working for a gaming company has deployed an application on EC2 and needs CloudWatch monitoring for the relevant metrics with a resolution of 1 minute. In order to set alarms that can rapidly react to changes, resolution of 1 minute with most statistics. 3-time Tiger, thank you for the gifted sub to SleepyBun22. In order to improve the read performance of the files stored in S3, you've decided to deploy it using CloudFront. As part of this deployment, you would like to ensure that only CloudFront is allowed to access the S3 buckets. How do you achieve that? Using an origin access identity and I'm pretty sure that's meant to be a misdirect. A company has 90% of their server instances on AWS Cloud and the rest are provisioned in an on-premises data center. The company wants a tool/service that can collect metadata of these instances to validate the software running on the instances along with the configurations against their software policy. That would be AWS Systems Manager Inventory. You plan on creating a subnet and want it to have at least capacity for 28 EC2 instances. What's the minimum size you have to have for your subnet? Oh my gosh. All right. So /24 would give us 256 addresses, technically 2 less than that. So 25 would give us like 126 instance addresses. 26 would give us 62. 27 would give us 30. I want to say it's 27 then, because we only need 28 host addresses. I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm doing my best to do subnet math in my head here. Amazon DynamoDB is experiencing a high level of rejected requests, and this outage is directly impacting your applications. Your CTO would like to know all the resources that are affected in your AWS account and how to mitigate them. AWS Personal Health Dashboard. When you launched as a short-term rental company, I'm getting so close, you guys. There is no EC1, Dylan. There is no EC1. EC2 is just them being cute. It's ECC, Elastic Cloud Compute, and EC2 just sounds cooler because there's two C's. S3 stands for Simple Storage Solution, I believe. Anyway, when you launched as a short-term rental company, you had 5 employees all working on the same AWS cloud account. These employees deployed their applications for various purposes, including billing, operations, finance, etc. Each of these employees has been operating in their own VPC. Now that you have grown to 200 employees, some employees belonging to different teams have created VPC peering connections and interfered with each other's work. You'd like to properly separate the environment your employees work in based on the department they belong to. What's the best way of achieving that? Yeah, AWS organizations with organizational units. You run a full e-commerce website on Elastic Beanstalk, which provisions an application load balancer in a public subnet, an auto-scaling group that spans 3 private subnets, an RDS database in multi-AZ mode in 2 private subnets. The load balancer can access your application, and your application can access the database. Yet, you have trouble patching your EC2 instances using SSM, as these instances cannot access the internet. What's the issue? What did it say about my EC2 instances again? That was a lot of information. The ALB... Okay, the auto-scaling group is where the EC2 instances come from, and it spans 3 private subnets. You need a NAT gateway. No, in the private... What? Hold on. I don't like any of this. Would it make sense to deploy a NAT gateway in the... have been updated for VPC-A, still your instances cannot communicate. What's most likely the issue? Check the route tables in VPC-B. Traffic has to flow both ways, you dunderheads. One of your web applications runs behind a load balancer and an auto-scaling group, which has a scaling policy back on the Aurora database requests. On top of scaling the ASG, the CloudWatch alarms auto-scale the Aurora database. After a few scale-out and scale-in events, your application has completely lost connectivity to the database. Oh boy. You check the database URL referenced in the SSM parameter store, and it turns out it does not correspond to any of the Aurora Read replicas, although it used to. How can you fix that problem easily in the long term while allowing your application to remain elastic? Use the Aurora Reader endpoint. Yeah, don't keep your URL... Yeah. Then it shouldn't matter if it scales or not. You have set up a security group for your Bastion host that only allows SSH from your IP. This is my IP. It's not my real IP, I promise. Yet when looking at the VPC flow logs with AWS Athena, you see a lot of instances with the IP starting with 172 blah blah, also being able to issue SSH commands. Why is that so? The second rule allows EC2 instances from an entire security group to SSH into your Bastion host. That's exactly why. You suspect some of your employees try to access files in S3 that they don't have access to. How can you verify this is indeed the case without them noticing? Without them noticing. Enable S3 access logs and analyze them using Athena. Seems like the way to go. Defining compliance rules would actually change something. They would notice if I restricted their IM policies. So secretive. Yeah, that'll work. Your application has complex runtime and OS. This is the last question, you guys. Your application has complex runtime and OS dependencies. If I don't get 72%, I'm going to have a rough night. That's all you need to know. Your application has complex runtime and OS dependencies and is taking a long time to be deployed on Elastic Beanstalk. You cannot sacrifice application availability. What should you do to improve the deployment time? Create a golden AMI? I don't know if that's quite the right term. Use rolling. Select 2. You definitely don't want the all-at-once deployment pattern. I feel like rolling and Elastic Beanstalk would both help with this. The runtime and OS dependencies. Having them preloaded into the AMI makes more sense than either, though, doesn't it? Maybe the rolling isn't... Oh my gosh. I don't know, man. I'm probably going to get this one wrong. I just don't know if that's the proper usage of the term golden AMI. I'm just going to try this. Finish. You guys, I don't feel great. I don't feel great. I might barely pass if I pass this. Woo! 80%! That's passing, baby. We passed our second test. We could review our questions and see which ones we got wrong. You guys don't want to do that. Oh my god. I'm going to take these next 2 practice tests between now and my exam tomorrow at 1:30. Oh, Doc's in my schedule for tomorrow, but who cares? Thank you, 3-time Tiger, for the gifted sub to Sleepy Bun, by the way. Thank you, Hassan Pepperoni, just now for the 100 bits.
Monster gift!
Thank you, Milk Gogi, for the 5 gift subs. The monster gift from Milk Gogi. Thank you so much, Milk Gogi. Making me hungry for milk steak. When I see Milk Gogi, I think of literally a bunch of like Korean bulgogi with milk dumped on top of it. I'm sorry. That's the only image that pops into my mind. What is the meaning of milk gogi, if you don't mind my asking? Milk steak. And jelly bean kimchi. That's a great addition to the milk gogi, Harold Krell. Gel with your finest jelly bean kimchi, please. What's AWS? Asks Stonecrop. It's Amazon Web Services. It's Amazon's gigantic infrastructure as a service platform. It's what probably like 75% of major internet sites are currently hosted on. I pulled that number out of my ass, but they are the biggest platform by far, followed as a distant second by Microsoft Azure, followed as a distant third by Google Cloud Platforms, which should be good but isn't. It kind of sucks in all my experiences with it. World says everyone hates Azure. Yeah, Amazon is by far the most mature. It offers the most like variety of services, the most features, and it's just been around, been doing this infrastructure as a service thing the longest. I'm glad we got at least a passing score. That makes me feel a little better going into tomorrow, and knowing that these are all pretty hard questions. Like a few of them you saw, I just kind of blasted through them, but on average, those were tougher questions. And now I can review each question at my leisure. Spillover count. Okay, that one I got right. You guys don't really want to now review 65 questions with me, though. I'm going to go through that later. Now, all I need is a 72% to pass. And there are labs on the real test, but I'm not worried about the labs. I have like a few hundred hours of... I have hundreds of hours, if not more, of real experience in the AWS console. Like, knowing stuff off the top of your head is often a lot harder in a situation like this than knowing what to do when you're actually in the environment. Golden Pen, thank you for the dime. Good night to you. And Coffee Black, thank you for resubbing for 9 months and earning your fourth. You've earned your fourth Tomar Emerald. I have no idea what's happening this stream, but I don't care. It's Tomar. Thank you so much, Coffee Black. Thank you for all you. There's still 160 people around, and I saw our numbers go up and down, but never really drop below this while I was taking an AWS practice exam. You guys, even if you're just doing it to be nice, thank you. Thank you for sticking around. It's very sweet. I'm telling you, man, I want the IT content, says World. Well, that was me legitimately taking a brand new practice exam blind. I've never seen any of those questions before, and I managed to get a B-. I'm happy with that. All I need is a C-, 72% to pass. I have a feeling by the time I'm done reviewing all these and doing the next two practice exams, I'm estimating I'm going to get at least an 85%. I'll let you guys know what my real score is, and it's technically scored out of 1,000, so I'm saying I'm going to aim for at least an 850. I need a 720 to pass. We'll see how it goes. Thank you again, Hassan Feferoni, for the 100 bits. And Captain DN, thank you for the 200 bits. GG on the test, Tomar. If you'd like, I posted an extremely late-ass Tomart for you. Oh, I appreciate that. Let's have a look. Oh, I don't even have Twitter open anymore. Twitter, let's go to latest. Here's my very late contribution to you, Mr. Tomar. Only late by like 4 weeks. I love this though. Very nice ghost trick themed art. Thank you so much, Captain DN. I like it. This is a nice little reward at the end of my practice exam. Thank you guys again for letting me combine streaming with the thing that I was supposed to be doing, which is studying for my exam. And the practice exams are a huge help with studying because these are very much based on how the real questions on the exam look. And just being in that mindset and that way of thinking, I think, is very important for passing these sorts of cert exams. So yeah, thank you guys again for joining me. I'm 3-time Tiger requested a last hat thing, and I'm gonna pause redemptions now, but he asked that I try to draw noodle on my hat. So before we go, for 3-time Tiger's sake, I think I might still refund his bits because they're not going to stay up very long. Unless you really don't want the bits, 3-time Tiger. But he asked that I try to draw noodle on my hat. Don't worry, this won't take long. Whether I spent an hour on it or 5 minutes, it would still be probably equally crappy. So let's see if I can draw a noodle in like 30 seconds. Everyone's saying to just draw that emote. I don't know how to make... I feel like I already messed up. I'm gonna color the whole thing in black. I'm not good at coloring. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Noodle, the black cat, for your enjoyment. I didn't know how to make his mouth show up. I was almost just like, in real life you wouldn't be able to see his mouth anyway. Yeah, that's Noodle doing blackface. It kind of does look like that. It looks bad. Okay. Oof vibes. Thank you for the 100 bits. All right. We have Noodle the cat. Oh. Did I revoke the... I paused redemptions, but now I don't see any new requests. Did I already take your bits? 3-time Tiger? Anyway. Thank you guys. I'm hoping my AWS certification expires on the 27th. So if I don't pass this test, I need to schedule a retest like immediately. Or I will lapse and I will be uncertified, and that's not something I can let happen. So we better pass this exam, or I only have, well, I think you get a free retake on AWS exams. Anyway, I don't want to have to go through the stupid test twice. I'm gonna get it right the first time. That's how we do it. Stay safe, everyone. Stay healthy. I'll see you all Thursday. Good night.